really has been his best week almost since the beginning of his presidential reelection campaign. So on, let's see, last Thursday, I believe, yes, it was Thursday, Joe Biden did give the annual State of the Union speech, as any president does every year during March. They give an address to Congress, and it is widely publicized. Tens of millions of viewers. I think there were something like like 26 million viewers watching this State of the Union speech. So it draws a lot of attention, and it is so important during presidential election years, especially when the incumbent is up for re-election, like we are seeing now. So this speech was very important for Joe Biden. He needed it to reinvigorate his campaign, and he did just that. So the speech, this video isn't about the speech, but really just how Biden is making a comeback, sort of, in this presidential race. Um, it began with the speech, and ever since it has been, there has been a positive turn, in this election. Trump is still favored to win, but this could be a sign that Biden is narrowing this race. So, the State of the Union, as I said, it went very well for Biden. I mean, the thing is with many State of the Unions, but especially for someone like Biden, he had a lot to lose, given his low speaking capabilities. Um, but he really didn't have that much to gain. But at least he didn't lose any support. He did not, he had a lot to lose. Well, he didn't manage to lose that. So it wasn't, this isn't a speech where, millions of voters in swing states are will go out on election day and, almost vote for Trump. And then they say, but wait, remember that State of the Union back in March, many months ago? Oh, yeah, I'm going to vote for Biden. But, obviously, a situation like that won't happen. It's not like he's going to win so many raw votes on election day because of this one speech, but it really does give his campaign new energy. That means new donors, new enthusiasm about his campaign, more volunteers, stuff like that. So, um, right after, interestingly, the State of the Union occurred, there were two new polls that were released where Biden is suddenly leading Donald Trump. As you can see, for quite a while now, we see Donald Trump dominating in every poll. I mean, +8, +6, even +5 is incredible for Donald Trump when at this point in history, well, can we see at this point in history? At this point in history, Biden led by 6.3 in 2020 ahead of Trump. And now Trump is ahead by 5. So, um, that was the case for a while now, but Biden rarely leads polls. But we now got two new polls fresh out of the State of the Union that actually have Biden leading. So we are, including this Emerson poll. Emerson is a very trusted name in polling. And now Biden has taken the lead by 2. So it clearly shows that Biden is shrinking Donald Trump's lead after the State of the Union. It definitely is going to have an effect on polls like these. But then you also have to look at his ad buys. You might have seen the ad that the campaign released, but he is launching, not he, but the campaign is launching a $30 million ad buy across swing states. $30 million. And the ad that he ran to begin with, it is spectacular. I mean, it is a nice ad. Definitely much better than whatever Trump is doing right now. So there's been a lot of new energy in the Biden campaign since the State of the Union. And then when you look at Donald Trump, it is not looking, it hasn't been all that good of a week for Donald Trump. I mean, we are seeing in so much data that Nikki Haley supporters are not necessarily with Trump in the general election. We saw exit poll after exit poll in these early presidential contests that showed that sometimes even more than half of Nikki Haley voters say they would not vote for Trump in the general election over Biden. And that is turning out to be true. We are seeing that, we are actually seeing Biden write to I believe, the campaign manager, or no, or I don't know. He wrote to someone from the Nikki Haley campaign and said how he wants her voters. Joe Biden is actively targeting a former Republican primary candidate's voters, and that is really unheard of. And that is why the Republican race this year was pretty interesting, as you neared the end, because there was a very solid block of Republican voters. 44% in New Hampshire, 40%, 39% in South Carolina, 19% in Iowa, 25% in Michigan. That was voting for Nikki Haley, who was really, towards the end of her campaign, running as an anti-Trump candidate. I mean, she really almost sounded like someone like Chris Christie, who is actively anti-Trump, avidly anti-Trump, despises Donald Trump. She started to sound like that. And you had very large groups of people voting for her. And, someone like Chris Christie winning 25% in Michigan, or 43% in New Hampshire, or 40% in South Carolina, that would have seemed unheard of. But Nikki Haley, really with the same kind of messaging, I mean, just almost as anti Trump as Chris Christie was himself, she was able to win that, that amount of votes. That would have been unheard of for someone like Chris Christie. I mean, her messaging is just very successful. So Nikki Haley very much divided this party. And it will really cost Trump in the general. And her voters are going to be extremely important come November. Biden is targeting them intelligently. I mean, that, you know, her supporters, many were Democrats and disaffected Democrats, I might add, and many were disaffected independents, disaffected from Biden. Those who voted for Biden in 2020 but are a little weary on him in 2024. Biden is trying to target them. And that is what he needs to do because Nikki Haley won a historic, I mean, really, a lot of votes. She surpassed 3 million votes in just about 25 states, just about half of the states. So she would have been on track to win about 6 million votes in the primary. And let's look at 2022. In the popular vote, what was the difference? The difference was 7 million. So Nikki Haley controls so much of this Republican party right now, and moderate, moderate and disaffected independents, Republicans, Democrats, disaffected from Joe Biden. She controls so much of them right now, and she has not endorsed Trump. So Biden is trying to target those voters, while Donald Trump, on the other hand, is continuing to criticize Nikki Haley and her supporters even after she has dropped out of the race. Biden has never had really negative words for Nikki Haley, while Donald Trump is still going after her and saying how he doesn't even want Nikki Haley's voters in the general election. I mean, this is just, this just furthermore continues the kind of campaign that Trump likes to run. I mean, he just is very unhinged. You know, for better or for worse, whatever you want to make of that. He says whatever he wants sometimes, and that really helps Joe Biden in many cases, right? Because now he is, for some reason, turning away critical Nikki Haley voters. I mean, she won 300,000 votes in the state of Michigan when he won the state of Michigan in 2016 by 10,000, and Biden won it by 150,000. So very very stupid comments from Donald Trump. And the point is, things are going good for Joe Biden. He gave a very good State of the Union. He was very energetic, and he got his point across, and he really criticized Trump in a way. A lot of people don't like that. They said it was too partisan, but your average voter, that won't affect them, like historically the change in how partisan the speech is. The average voter does not care about that or does not know about that. Then we see new polls following the State of the Union. Suddenly, Biden is ahead by Trump in a few polls. And then he has the money, he has the donors to buy $30 million worth of ads across swing states. And as I said, it is a very well put together ad. Considering his age and why that's not an issue compared to the other guy. It's a positive and negative campaign. And then you've got Biden targeting Nikki Haley voters probably pretty successfully. And Donald Trump continuing to criticize them and probably winning barely any of them. So Donald Trump is digging his own grave when it comes to Nikki Haley voters. And Biden has had quite a few positive occurrences in his campaign recently, and he should hope that this continues, because if this continues, then that would be a winning trajectory. Because really, throughout this campaign, it really has been. But now he is starting to turn it around, and he is trying to show Democrats that it was a good idea to stick with him over someone else. So thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you all go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it if you did. I'm really close to 2,000 subscribers. It's really incredible how fast I got from 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers. I've gotten almost 400 subscribers in just the past 28 days. So I'm so happy with my channel growth. It's just what I wanted before the election. So I post election videos almost daily, but sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. So it averages out to at least one a day. So thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you all go ahead and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you all next time. And yeah. So, bye.